Hi everyone, welcome back to another stream. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you for the hydrant name, if I say that. Yeah, so, unbelievably, we are doing Phantasy Star on a Sunday. Who'd have thought it? So I thought, it's been a while since we did PSU. There's an event on at the minute. It kind of seems like the perfect time to do a PSU stream. There's also a PSU video going live on Tuesday to November, so we tie it all in. It is Spoopy Month, it is. People are calling the new event quest trash in the event lobby. We'll see. Last one was kind of busted. Come on, do it. This does do something else, I promise you. Thank you for the resub, Kilniath. Much appreciated. I swear this does something else. Hi, Scorpio. Good to see you. Yeah, it's a bit bad, isn't it, Drac, that you don't get a resub notification with Prime, seemingly, which is very weird. Thank you for the resubs, nonetheless. This definitely does have another action. But apparently, it's just proved me wrong. What if I kick it first? There we go. All it needed was a good kick. That was not worth it at all. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I've got the Guardian's Hub, but I think there's an actual event lobby for this event. There's basically a Halloween event on. Who'd have thought? But yeah, thank you again for the resubs, whether it's Prime or not. Oh god, this song. Drag did forewarn me of this song. I see Drac and Zale straight away. You're gonna let it get to you. Try not to. We are here in Pumpkin Hill. We are. We did this last year, wasn't it, like a foggy map or something? Yes, I believe so. I don't know if it's the same quest again. We'll find out, I guess. I know Drac did stream it on Discord yesterday, and there was a different quest yesterday, which looked quite fun. But I think they've changed it, apparently. So, we'll find out. Can't join today. No worries, Pika. Oh, the foggy quest is a 4-player one now, okay. Event last year was kind of meh. Yeah, good to see you killing as well. Hope things are going well for you. You like the rappy suit? The PSU rappy suits are kind of cursed. By which I mean very. So let's have a quick look around the lobby first. We can talk to this guy apparently. Welcome to the Kakwan Pumpkin Festival. Go up the stairs and access the warp to participate. I will do. Hate rappies in this game altogether. I mean, they're very weird in PSU. brought my fishing rod in hopes to catch some fish. However, as you can see, there are no fish. My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. We're just drop kicking everyone, is that what we're doing? I mean, I'm for it. Betting the Phantasy Star 3 ones. Yeah, I mean, at least they were sort of cute and fat. Like, the rappies in PSU were just odd. There is little tiny rappy floaties, like rappy rubber ducks, which is quite funny. Where's Waby Baby got a dropkick him? He was in the last quest. He was the last boss of the final quest. Alright, so apparently you can talk to this pumpkin. We can actually talk, but none of the others actually want to speak to y'all. Wow. Okay, we'll dropkick the pumpkin as well. So, this is the event. I have no idea what it actually involves. I haven't really tried it. There's actually been a load of changes on Clementine recently. There is actually a video coming out on Tuesday that goes through some of them. They've actually made it quite a lot more streamlined. And there's actual progression path for leveling now, which is nice. Instead of spamming the same quests over and over again. So I guess I'll access this, which I'm assuming is the quest counter. It is, okay. So I can access a few things there, fair enough. They did NPA. I mean, they kind of did some of it. Everything is light element, okay. That makes things a bit easy to equip for. Yeah, so basically, yeah, I can't do it from here, but if you go to, I think you can do it from the Guardian's hub, there are what are called level up quests now. So there are quests for each rank that are designed to be roughly every 10 levels there's a quest that you can do. So it's kind of designed that you just cycle through them and it makes you kind of do all the different quests in the game rather than just spam the same things over and over again. Beacon Beyond is the Fog Forest 4-player quest, okay. So I guess we want to do Hidden Forest. Yeah, it sounds like a pretty good change. I mean, we're obviously going to do Ultimate. I mean, obviously. We can try an Anguish quest if this gets old. Yeah, sounds good. I'll just leave it open so if people want to join it, they can. So what's the deal with this quest? It says clear the area of mutant creatures. Fair enough. Yeah, I just thought it'd been a long time since we've done PSU on stream. I actually can't remember the last time we did it. This way I realise we have no dark equipment, but you know, we'll make it work. Fingers crossed for no Idler. Well, on the YouTube side, I have already demonetized this stream. So, if they play it, they play it. That's the only downside about playing on Clementine. You can never tell what music they're going to use. Yeah, this music's just straight from PSU. In fact, I think this might be the normal area music for this area. Nice if I could see where I was going. Yeah, I realise that I don't do PSU a whole lot on the channel, but it's a game I like to rotate in every so often. I do have an upper, yes. I think Drac gave me this. Amongst other things. Yeah, I think this area was introduced in like Ambition of the Illuminous. I don't know what those enemies were there, the little guys. I don't recognise as enemies at all. I mean, they drop a ton of money, which I'm cool with. Been a long time since you played PSU. Yeah, it's a game where I'll come back to it every so often and play it. Yeah, the little tiny guys, I just do not recognise them at all. I played PSU a lot and I don't remember them at all. This takes me back even more than PSO, probably because I never went back to PSU after getting online. So fingers crossed we get some decent drops. Do non-PSO games still heavily impact your stats? Yeah, kind of. I mean, we did, for the last 2 Sundays, we did some other games. And yeah, I would say I'd probably get like maybe half the viewership, maybe. I think obviously a lot of people found the channel through Phantasy Star. I mean, if we're talking about Phantasy Star in general, Zero actually is one of the best performing games on my channel. For some reason. PSU normally does fine as well. The classic JRPGs, not so much, but I appreciate they're ancient. Yeah, Zero does really well. I would say if I play something that isn't Phantasy Star, my viewership probably drops by about half, I would say. That being said, once I'm back from Japan, we are doing a full playthrough of Front Mission 3. The original Front Mission 3 as well, not the remake. Why don't you rotate Phantasy Star games more often? I mean, to be honest, we haven't played PSO for... I'm trying to think when the last time I played it on stream was. It's got to be at least a month. We basically did the event on we did the event on Affinia, got massively burned out, and then just never came back to it again since. Interested to watch Front Mission? I'm glad to hear it. The reason I'm doing PSU today is just because, 1, we haven't done it for a while, and 2, I saw there was quite a lot of big changes that have been made on Clementine, so I thought, right, I want to stream this just to see what the changes are like. But yeah, honestly, PSO I barely played for the last month, I would say. Even off stream, I think the only time I've played it recently is we occasionally do like a challenge mode once a week, and I've done that, and then once we've done challenge mode, I'll log off. Just nice to give it some downtime now and again. But yeah, we did, I think last week we did Streets of Rage 4, and the week before that we did the new Sonic kart game, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Oh, hidden wall. How does challenge mode work in PSO BB? You start off at fixed levels with fixed gear. You have to try and get through all the stages, and if anyone dies without escape doll, you fail the stage. I realise I'm spamming slices a lot here. If you haven't noticed, my entire palette is apparently light element weapons, and this entire area is light element monsters. I got a Blitz Fender U Plus. Oh, cool. Is that machine gun? Yeah, I thought it was. I think it's a PSP2 weapon. Minecraft is coming across worlds with 4PS, so I did say that. SpongeBob is also coming to it before PSO. Yeah, I think this is one of the Yara's weapons, I think, from Infinity. Sounds brutal. Fairly certain I'm only as good as I am on most of my characters because of my mag stats and gear. It makes you rethink how to play the game a little bit, for sure. Okay, this slice up here is still very low level and is terrible. Let's try that one. Yeah, it just kind of eats you in with challenge mode though. The early stages are really not too bad. The plan is, yeah, I think once I'm back from Japan, I think this Wednesday we should hopefully finish Phantasy Star 4. And then I'll probably do a couple of little variety streams until I go to Japan, and then once I'm back, we'll do Phantasy Star on one of the streams in a week probably, but then the other one will be from Mission 3, and then we'll probably rotate other games in every so often, because I do want to vary things up a bit. There's a few games I actually really want to play. Like, at some point I want to do the Phoenix Wright games. I love those games that I really want to do on stream at some point. He's traumatized by grinders breaking your weapons. I'm glad to hear that in this you don't lose the weapon as such. You lose like a level of max grind, so it's still punishing but not as bad. You recently fell into a Halo binge. Never played 4, 5 or Ultimate. I think the only Halo I played is, well, I played 1 and 2, I think. And even then 2 was mainly just multiplayer. I've newfound respect for Halo 2, even over 3, which surprised you. So literally everything here is light element. I mean, it does make it easier to equip, but it would help if I had some dark weapons. I probably do have some in my stash somewhere. I have to check. Yeah, anyone who may not have seen the PSU streams before, if you do want to play this, this server is called Clementine. Really easy to get set up and everything, so... Did they ever fix the issue with the install needing a file patched in? I'm not sure, but they have done a lot of change recently, so the entire launcher is different and everything now. I also made the worst decision to my short attention span in getting Balatron on my phone. Oh, this has laughter as the theme. Oh, we're so back. Yeah, we are currently going through Phantasy Star 4 at the minute, and this is like one of the best songs in the entire game. It does seem way louder than the normal music, but is that music volume okay, or is it way louder? Yeah, Zeo is hiding apparently, yeah. It's fine, okay. Mega Drive sound font is peak, it really is. Yeah, only the Clementine is pretty active. And check right now. At the moment, there are 74 people online, which isn't bad for PSU. Yeah, I think it's a Yamaha sound chip, isn't it? I think. I love this song so much. I mean, I love Phantasy Star 4 so much. I haven't even finished it yet, and it's already like one of the best games I've ever played. I think for me, I love the bass on the Mega Drive sound chip. It's so good. It's like they poured gravel in the sound chip. Yeah, I mean, I would say this is basically your only option for PSU. There's not many private servers for it at all, so... Oh, I got Yasha U+. Cool. And very fitting. Yeah, it's like I should make Taker on PSU. It's kind of a whole deal. Where did you download it? I can't remember the actual website address at the minute, but like I said, the server's called Clementine. Anything worth picking up? Ultra Grinder, 400 drop. Yeah, Yasha in first run, that's not bad. Yeah, Twitch likes to nuke the links, Kilnef. Alright, let's actually equip that one because that's probably quite useful at the minute. It needs grinding, but... Changes to darken the GC counter. Okay. Oh, I need to unequip it. Hold on. I like that you can do this from here. That really helps. So change element to dark. I swear that like grind buy is the most stressful thing in the entire game. You gotta go pick it. Ah, no worries. Good to see you. Yeah, I like how they give you the option to remove the grind bar just to, you know, take away some of the stress. Just waiting for it to break your weapon. It is really funny that a Yasha first run. What's up? Someone just dropped a Gurren as well. It's like all the PSO weapons. That didn't drop for me, I think someone else dropped it. Yeah, I would say if you are looking for somewhere to play PSU, I think Clementine is probably your best option. Mainly, might even be your only option. I genuinely don't know if there is any other PSU servers. I know that there are plans by the Clementine team to make another PSU server, which apparently is going to function a bit more like the official Sega servers. I don't know how I feel about it, because although it'd be cool to have like a more original feeling server, because this is quite different to original PSU. I don't know if there's a player demand for it. I know it's kind of an old meme at this point, but did anything substantially new get added to NGS since forever? NGS, I personally think, is in a pretty decent place at the minute. So recently there's a new area called the Altar Realm, that was added, I want to say last month, I think. And they've just added like a new boss to the game. They've added a new system called EX Styles, which quite radically changes up the combat. So I think NGS isn't doing too bad. I mean, it's still got issues. It's still not perfect by any means, but I think it's definitely improved quite a bit. So I actually log on to it and actually play a couple times a week now. Any more story? There are a couple of side stories. I actually went through them earlier today, and it actually took me longer than I thought it would. I was expecting it to be a couple of minutes, but it probably took me to get through a few of them, maybe half an hour, 45 minutes. And there was some interesting stuff in it. It wasn't fantastic, but it was something. There's been no more major main story though, which does suck. Will the Sega-esque server have bi-weekly rollbacks for the genuine Sega experience? Ah yeah, we all remember the PSU rollbacks. Yeah, I think it's very apparent with NGS that story is definitely not one of their focuses. But I think the actual game, in terms of the gameplay and everything, I think that has improved. It is a shame, yeah, because I mean, that should be very apparent if you've seen, when you see my channel, is I'm quite a big fan of Phantasy Star lore and story, so it is kind of a shame. But I will be fair, and I will say that the side stories they added did add some interesting stuff. We found a bit more about some of the characters that we didn't know before. The only thing I will say about the story is it does kind of feel like we beat Dark Falls Vile and then the story just kind of ground to a halt again. They have been doing something kind of interesting though. We've had a couple of urgent quests recently that have been kind of story-linked urgent quests. So they are urgent quests, but they also have the story NPCs in, and there's actually a bit of storytelling through those, which is an interesting way of doing it. I am mainly interested in the minute to see what they do with the PSO collab, because I'm guessing that's probably going to be in December. I'm going to assume, I guess we'll probably get a PSO scratch with PSO outfits, but I'm hoping to get some kind of quest that ties in with it as well. can't wait until we find out that NGS was just Luther psychologically trolling with us the whole time. Started playing NGS for the first time about a week ago. It's good to hear it's in a decent spot. I think for the gameplay, I think it's totally fine at the minute. The EX styles they've just added do help quite a bit with that. If you're looking for story, not so much. I still enjoy it though. God damn, that just instant killed me. This quest's okay. I think it kind of spams these guys a bit too much. The EX stuff sounds like it might give more actual options for combat. Yeah, so just like a brief overview of how it works. So you obviously have your photon blast in the game. What happens is now when you use a photon blast, the photon blast icon will then change to a different icon. And at any point after you've used a photon blast, you can press it again to activate what's called your EX style. And then there are 3 different styles, and each of them give you boosts and different abilities based on kind of a set play style. So there's one that gives you abilities based on how many times you counter enemies. There's one based on like number of hits. So classes like Gunner or Ranger that do loads of rapid fire hits get a lot of mileage out of that. And then there's one that gives you a boost based on the amount of, I think it's the amount of elemental, or the amount of down factor that you inflict on an enemy, which is either physical or elemental downs. I did get one comment on YouTube that just said it was boring because it was just adding attack and defense, but it doesn't do that. If they'd have actually watched the video, they would realize that there's more to it than that. Yeah, there's pretty interesting things with it. So another one, for example, that works on counters, that has an ability as well where the first attack you do, I think it's after you activate the EX style, will start to give you HP regen for a bit. And for a set period of time, I think it's every attack you do will add a bit more to your max HP, so you can basically make your character into a tank. And it's another one that I think starts boosting the like the PP of all the party members as well, so it's like quite a good support one. So I think they were quite well fleshed out. There is also the skill rings they've just added as well, which is another new thing, which is another way to get abilities. And they've actually made the skill rings really, really rare. So I'm okay with that because it actually gives you something to hunt. And you can potentially make a lot of money from them as well because people are selling them really expensive in the shops as well because they're rare. So I'm okay with that. They're not exactly the same as PSO2 rings. The nearest way to describe them is some of them kind of work a bit like the EX abilities that you can get on weapons. They did give everyone one free ring, which was just a straight up damage reduction, which is nice. Although they did only give one per account, which kind of screws you if you have more than one character. But yeah, the rings in NGS are just another way of getting some more abilities, basically. But it sounds like it's going to be kind of a long-term thing because the way they work is the abilities on them get better as you level the rings up. And the only way to level them is to grind them with a copy of the same ring. And the rings are rare. Obviously, you know, someone like me who's played a lot of PSO, one of the things that I think that NGS was really lacking was some rare gear to hunt. So I'm kind of glad that the rings have been made quite rare. I'm never going to say that NGS is a highlight of the series, because it isn't. I think it's definitely improved a lot since launch, for sure. I always get ass hats on NGS videos. I can pretty much guarantee that every time I upload an NGS video, I will get some like doomer comments. Pretty much guaranteed. And a lot of them are from people who clearly have either never played the game or haven't played since launch. And it's never going to stop. I used to reply to them and argue with them. It just got to a point where I just thought it's not worth my time, this. So I just ignore them now. And if they're really arsey, I just block them. And they can just shout into the void. And just slander my beloved. Life is much too troubling to engage with idiots. Yeah, that is kind of my philosophy I'm using now. There is someone in the team who is plugging my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you for the plug. We appreciate your fair viewpoints on games. Yeah, I will try and get confused is what I'll do. Yeah, I will try and be fair. You know, with games, I think if there's something with you know, with NGS, for example, if there's something with NGS that I really don't like or don't agree with, I will tend to tell you. I've mentioned this before, but I think particularly when being an NGS creator, I tend to find that a lot of people think that you are paid off by Sega, and that is just not the case at all. Like, if I have issues with NGS, I will mention them, and I have done previously. Played any more Monster Hunter? Haven't touched it since Laggy. I haven't touched it at all. I know there was recently the update with Omega. Unfortunately, because I don't play Final Fantasy XIV, that Omega fight doesn't really mean anything to me. How does your hair look? It looks fantastic. Yeah, the whole Final Fantasy update really doesn't mean anything to me, so... It's a big robot, yeah. I mean, I'm familiar with Omega. Okay, it's in basically every Final Fantasy game. But I'm not familiar with that version of Omega. I'm just not that interested in it, honestly. And again, there's still no PC performance improvements, so... Maybe in December we'll get those. You hate crossovers that don't fit the universe, yeah. I'm sorry, the music's so good. They could use this music for every single quest and I would not care. Yeah, the FF14 equivalent was supposed to be good. I think on FF14, I think they got a fight against Arkveld. No idea if it's any good though. Again, I don't play 14, so... Although the weird thing is, I think it's a fight against Guardian Arkveld, which is a really odd choice. You know, if you played Wilds, you'll know that you fight Guardian Arkveld, what? Once? Maybe you repel it once, I can't remember. I think you repel it once then fight it once. And then you never fight it again, because it never appears again. Then you just fight regular Arkveld. Maybe it is the egg, yeah. Can confirm the fight has been pretty fun for what it is. Oh, cool. mean, I've seen people do the Omega fight on Wilds, and it looks fine. It's just that because I'm not really into 14, I just don't really have any attachment or anything to it. I think at least with Behemoth in World, you know, Behemoths are monsters that are in pretty much every Final Fantasy and don't really change a great deal. You forget what each colour of beast form does. The blue one is invincibility. The red one gives you loads of attack power. Purple one, I think normally is defense, but I think on this they gave it invincibility. I think the blue one lasts longer because obviously defense isn't that great. And the yellow one, I think, gives you speed and evasion, I think, maybe more accuracy. Speaking of FF, are you a FF Tic Tacs fan? Re-released that recently, looks decent, but never played it myself. I never played it when it was originally out. I've seen people stream the remake. It looks pretty good. It actually looks like the combat in it looks kind of similar to Front Mission, in that it's like a grid-based battler. It might be something I'll look into. That might be a bit straight. I was watching someone stream it, and I think they were doing, is it called Tactician mode, which I think is like a harder version of it, and that looked very rough. Random question, but when playing Phantasy Star Zero on stream, what controller do you use? I use an 8-bit door controller at the minute, so it is 8-bit door Ultimate 2, I think it is. It's a re-release, okay. We already got War of the Lions on PSP. I've never played a tactics game, honestly. I did get the Ultimate 2. The only issue I have with it is the triggers. The triggers, I think, behind the triggers there's like a little piece of foam for dampening, and I think it's moved on mine. So on both of my triggers, the triggers kind of clack against the bumpers. It doesn't impact the controller at all, but it's just, I'm aware of it. And that happened after a few weeks. Apart from that, I really like it. I think you can open it up and just realign the foam in it, but yeah, I think you should be able to use most controllers for Zero, I would have thought. Obviously, providing that you're using something like Dolphin, I'm guessing. Although, if Nintendo are watching, obviously all my streams are on official Nintendo hardware. Are those two chain swords glued together? Yes, there is a weapon in this game that is two chain swords glued together. I forget what it's called now. I want to say maybe Absolute Chain or something like that, but I can't remember. Yeah, the movement teching kind of started with PSU. There's a lot of PAs in this game that are just designed to get around very quickly. And that obviously continued a lot in PSO2 as well. On a related note, the purple player looks more like Taker than you do. So this character that I use in PSU, this was actually one of my first PSO characters. Yeah, my first PSO character was actually a male character, unbelievably. I had a Raymar for my very first character. And then my second character, my first Uniworld, was this character. But this is the character I use on the Sega server for PSU, so that was nice to use her again. Vinny and NJS have just been using an Xbox controller. I mean, Xbox controller should work fine, honestly. Yeah, the character that's all in purple, that's Zill. Yeah, I don't remember those little enemies at all. Maybe they existed in PSU? I don't know, I just don't remember them at all. Had to dig your Xbox One out of death since it's the only way to play Halo 5. Kind of like it feels like most accurate 6. I generally don't mind Xbox controls for the most part. Well, Xbox controllers after the 360, because I remember using a 360 controller for years on PC, like way back. It's like one of the worst D-pads of any controller I've ever used. Yeah, 360 D-pad was basically you pressed it and you just kind of assumed it had gone in the right direction. Oh, you still have one of the Dukes? Oh, Drac got a Gravidion U+, nice. So I don't think there's a whole need to do the 4-player quest, because the 4-player one apparently is just a quest from last year, and we spammed that last year. Yeah, I used to like the bumpers and the triggers on the 361 were pretty good. It was just the D-pad was just awful. I need to decide what I do with my 360. It's been sat behind me for years, and I can't remember the last time I powered it on. .360 controller is better than the current Xbox controller. I don't think I've used an Xbox controller from like the most recent Xbox. I think the last one I used was the Xbox One controller, I think. Oh, is that the only difference, that it's USB-C now instead of... What was the other one, micro USB? I feel micro USB on a controller should be a crime. It's just horrible. I think one of my favourite, like, more modern controllers is probably the Nintendo Switch Pro controller. But I can't recommend one though, because the one I have started getting stick drift. It's a shame because it's a really comfortable controller, but everything feels nice on it. And the battery lasts ages on it as well. But it gets stick drift. Early Xbox One controllers couldn't be paired with Bluetooth devices though, okay. Oh, were they the ones that needed like a proprietary dongle or something to be able to use wireless? Hi 8-Bit, good to see you. Yeah, it's kind of crazy like, how many controllers suffer from stick drift now. And the thing is, like, we know how to solve it. You know, realistically, if you use Hall effect, you shouldn't get a stick drift. Which coincidentally is another reason I like this controller. Because I believe this has Hall effect. I think it's sticks and triggers. Might still develop with time, much later. I mean, I'm fine, you know, if the controller lasts me a couple of years, I'm fine with that. But some of them were just terrible, really. PS5 controller got stick drift and they're expensive. Yeah, the price of the PS5 controllers is ridiculous, really. You've been playing with a USB or Xbox controller with Hall effect sticks. Oh, nice. I could be wrong on this, but I think, doesn't the Dreamcast have Hall effect sticks? Or Hall effect stick, I should say. I know it feels very different to every other controller I use. Can we all collectively laugh how apparently consoles now go up in value? Dreamcast was one of the first Hall effect. Yeah, I know when you use Dreamcast controller, it just feels so different. The analog, I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily in a good way. It feels kind of vague, but that could be because my Dreamcast controller is quite worn out as well, but PSU is still your favourite. Isn't perfect, but I love the setting and the graphic style. I have a fondness for PSU for sure. It's not my favourite Phantasy Star. I mean, you know, I played so much of PSO. Although I will say, depending how the ending of Phantasy Star 4 is, Phantasy Star 4 might beat PSO. Maybe. Ever going to continue the PSP2 Infinity playthrough? I'm not sure, honestly. I did the PSP2 playthrough, and honestly, for the amount of time it took to record and everything, it just got no traction whatsoever. I do really like Infinity, but I just don't know if I can justify doing it. You love the Dreamcast forever, but you hate the controller. Yeah, the controller for the Dreamcast is a design that exists. Honestly, the thing that annoys me most about the Dreamcast controller is the fact that the cable comes out the bottom of the controller and gets in the way of your hands. Like, who thought that was a good idea? Yeah, if there was the demand to do the Infinity playthrough, I would do it, but it's just, if you look at the metrics for the PSP2 playthrough, it's probably one of the worst performing series of videos I've done. I'm gonna come out and say this right now. This is one of the best boss themes in any RPG. The D-pads and the buttons hurt after extending the play. Yeah, I don't think it's a particularly comfortable controller. It's also really big. It's kind of funny, if you put a Dreamcast controller next to a Dreamcast, it's pretty much as big as the Dreamcast. We've got a Nagasen U+. No idea. Controversial opinion, I'm not a fan of the Sephiroth boss theme. I don't think it's particularly great. I think it's okay. I don't think it's one of the best. I think it's massively overrated. And if you want another controversial opinion, I think that Sephiroth's first theme, which I think is called Birth of a God, I think that is a better theme than One Winged Angel. I think the issue of One Winged Angel, and honestly, again, maybe controversial, I think Final Fantasy VII is just massively overdone and maybe a little overrated. Don't be wrong, FF7 is a great game. I had a good time with it when I played it years ago. I don't see why it's hailed as like one of the best JRPGs though. I think there are better ones. I think there are better Final Fantasies. Again, I'm not saying 7 is a bad game, because it isn't. It is a really, really good game. It's always kind of bugged me with Final Fantasy that 7 just gets everything. You know, it gets movies, it gets spin-off games, it gets God knows what else, and the other games just get nothing. Like 8 got a really half-assed remaster. Has 9 had anything? Again, not that I'm a huge fan of 9, but has 9 had anything? I think 8 could be a great game. I think if they ever sort of remade 8, I think it would need some rebalancing to make some parts of the game work better. But I enjoyed 8 even if the story was kind of mental. Nah, no worries, Kelly. Good to see you. They're just now talking about remaking FF9. The Pumpkin Hill theme, man. Phantasy Star 4 is better than Earthbound. Don't care what people say. Oh, controversial. I'm not familiar enough with Earthbound, so I can't say anything on that. It is a Halloween event, yeah. Although I will say this mission doesn't feel particularly seasonal. This game always looks so good, the graphics look smooth. I am playing it at a higher resolution, like quite significantly higher resolution than it would have ever been previously. Honestly, PSU looked pretty good for the time. FF8 wouldn't be FF8 anymore if they remade it because its system is too messed up. Yeah, I mean, how broken FF8 is kind of part of the charm as well. Yeah, honestly, yeah, PSU doesn't look too bad. Not bad looking game at all, really. For the age of the game. Yeah, it is much higher resolution than it would have been on the Sega servers. Thank you for being honest. No worries. Yeah, again, I just want to reiterate that I'm not saying 7 is a bad game, because I did have a lot of fun playing it. It was actually one of the first PlayStation games I got. I think when I got my PlayStation, it came with FF7. I just wish that some of the other games in the franchise got as much love as 7 gets. I should probably do a playthrough of some Final Fantasy at some point. I kind of feel people seem to like the JRPG stuff, so... Oh, well, I'll be real, I'm not sure if anything can beat Phantasy Star 4. It's too good, man. If anyone hasn't seen, I have played through Phantasy Star 1, 2 and 3 on stream as well, so if you want to go and watch those, the VODs will be up on YouTube side. I don't blame you if you want to skip Phantasy Star 3. I wonder if the lobby on the 3rd floor of Guardian's Colony still has additional Halloween items on Clementine. Oddly, in the Guardian's Colony, there didn't seem to be any Halloween decorations. It's all centered around this event lobby. Unless they had the decorations a bit later, maybe a bit closer to Halloween. How you experienced 7 is how most people did, and a big part of its brand power. Most people just didn't play the SNES Final Fantasies. Yeah. I mean, I never had a SNES when I was younger, so I always had a Mega Drive. So obviously I skipped a lot of the early Final Fantasy games. 7 was my first one. Including the ghostly figure up on the ceiling. I haven't actually looked to see if Ethan is still there. Also, thanks for reading the membership, Reunion. Much appreciated. Yeah, I should look at some point and see if Ethan is still hiding in the Guardian's Colony. I think a lot of the love for particularly some of the earlier Final Fantasies though is definitely depends on what you grew up with, really. You know, for me, I grew up with 7 and mainly 8, honestly. I don't know what it was about 9. I could never get into 9 as much. Don't know why. Pretty sure no matter does the colony, they also added the Halloween stuff at least while I was playing a few years ago. Yeah, I know the normal Halloween decorations are definitely not up yet. But if it works like some of the other Phantasy Star games, maybe they just automatically activate nearer the date. Cool stream, thank you very much. Only had a Genesis and a PC growing up and played the old Final Fantasies through alternative means. I get that. Yeah, I think I've said this before, but when I got 7... Oh, you were Kelly? Oh, nice to meet you. Thanks for the shout out in game. Yeah, I think I've told this before, but when I got Final Fantasy VII, I was obviously still quite young. And I tried playing the game, and then I stopped playing it for months because I couldn't figure out how to get past the title screen. Because I kept pressing X. I didn't realise that because it's kind of based on the Japanese games, they use a circle. I was young, so give me some slack, but yeah, I didn't play the game for months because I couldn't figure out how to get past the title screen. I think I probably spent the most time with 8, I think, growing up, out of all the Final Fantasies. Played that game through quite a few times. And 10 as well, I put quite a bit of time to 10. Okay, this seems ignoring that guy, so I'm going to also ignore him. That happened to me for one of the Metal Gear games, they just changed the button. You've still yet to play 10. 10, honestly, I really like 10. I will say, I do think 10's a bit easy. Well, easy depending on what you do with it. If you just want to do the story, then I think it's definitely one of the easier Final Fantasies. If you want to do all the super bosses and everything, then it's a nightmare. Yeah, I do feel like 10's got a really good story as well. Yeah, I always thought it was kind of weird about 13, that kind of the main complaint was that it was a linear game. I mean, most of them kind of are. They might have the odd little branching paths here and there, but they're all relatively linear, really. Ten is very good. The biggest challenge is the sports ball game. Yeah, I think, honestly, one of the hardest things in that game is there's a point where I think it's where you have the blitzball match against, I think it's the match against the Luca Gores. And it's a point in the game where you're not really intended to win. You just play the match to advance the story, but like, it's really fun trying to win the match with like the worst team ever. Yeah, people sleep on blitzball. Loads of people hate it, but I actually liked it. Thirteen's problem was it showed you that it was linear. The other games would hide it a lot better. Okay. I mean, I think a lot of JRPGs tend to be quite linear because they're obviously designed for you to progress through certain areas at certain points in the game. Oh yeah, 10 is really linear. I guess maybe the exception with 10 is maybe when you get to the point where you're trying to find all of the crests and sigils. Then I guess you can branch out a bit more. So many party members. Yeah, so PSU is one of the only games where you have a 6-member party limit. I think there's a Blitzbot. If you win that match, is the only way to get Wakka's ultimate weapon easy. Yeah. Honestly, I think the only part of 10 I really, really despise is I can't remember which crest or sigil it is that you have to do to get it. There's one of them where you have to do the Thunder Plains minigame, and I think you have to not get hit by lightning, is it 200 times or something stupid like that? And it's the most irritating minigame in pretty much any game. Nine is awesome. I didn't really play it a whole lot when it released, so I should probably check it out again at some point. It was 200. Yeah, I think the music from Thunder Plains still kind of gives me PTSD thinking about that minigame. I can't remember what you got from it now. I want to say it was one of the crests or one of the sigils for the ultimate weapons. Because the problem is, if you didn't get the crests and sigils, it kind of really hampered that character's damage, because it was either the crest or the sigil would let you exceed the 9999 damage limit. So if you didn't have it, you were stuck at doing 9999. But yeah, I can't remember whose item it was that you had to do that for now. I loved how much there was to do in 10, honestly, like with all the monster arena and everything as well. It was decent. Didn't enjoy 10 as much and tried the 13 Lightning Returns and lost most of my love for FF games. Never played Lightning Returns. Of course, for me, the great tragedy with 10 is the fact that 10.2 exists. I apologise to anyone in chat who might like 10.2. I despise 10.2. I can't stand that game. I'll always believe that 10.2 is a game that it just didn't need to exist. It retconned too much of 10's story. And I just don't think there was a need to make it. Yeah, I can't remember whose weapon it was for, Mecha. It was either for a weapon or for one of the crests or sigils for the ultimate weapons. Yeah, I mean the job sphere thing in 10.2 was kind of interesting, I guess. That wasn't too bad, but I don't know, I never connected with the story at all in 10.2. There's also a really easy way in 10.2 as well of getting basically locked, like progression locked. So there's a point in the game where you have to jump down this hall to go, I think it's like to head towards one of the last bosses, and you fight loads of these boss fights along the way. Problem is, once you jump down the hole, you can't go back. And if you go down there and save it and then can't do the boss, you're just stuck there. 10.2 is K-pop before K-pop, it is. I like 10.2, but I'm not for the story. Yeah, the story just never appealed to me at all. Ever played Grandia? No, unfortunately. I understand Grandia is amazing, but I've never played it. There's probably loads of JRPGs that I have never actually played that I need to correct. How on earth do you remember so many details? My mind works in a very weird way. I remember loads of really pointless information. Like, you want to know the entire drop chart for Skyly and PSO? I've got you. You want to know what I did yesterday? God knows. I've been gaming hard since 1980, so maybe your RAM is full. No, I've not played Lost Odyssey either, no. It's a very huge list of JRPGs that I've never touched. I think one of the biggest sort of disgraces that I've never played is I've never played Chrono Trigger. Again, I should probably fix that. It's like only listed as one of the greatest games ever made. I should probably play it at some point. Sky, recite all PSO lore. It's all on the channel, I think. Also, Sky, what did I eat earlier? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I deliberately avoided Expedition 33 because obviously everyone on Twitch was playing it and I didn't want to spoil it. But I am kind of interested in playing that because I know how much love people have for that game. I will say I've been quite surprised like how much people have enjoyed the classic Phantasy Star games when I've streamed them. So maybe people don't mind seeing JRPGs on stream. This is Sega Genesis music, yeah. This is one of the boss themes from Phantasy Star 4. They use it for some reason in this part of this quest. I don't know why, but yeah, it is Genesis music. Anything decent? Anything? No? Okay. You got twin sand drappy guns here plus, nice. Yeah, Phantasy Star dedication is why we love what you do. Oh, thanks for that. I'd like to think people enjoy me playing other games as well, but I know viewership does drop quite significantly when I play things that are not Phantasy Star, but you know. I do this just for, more or less for a hobby, so I just like playing what I like playing. And hopefully people like seeing it. Yeah, no worries, Drac, yeah. Oh, Kelly's back. Just finished an urgent quest in PS2 Classic feed. They'd stop by. Good to see you, Bean. Yeah, I haven't played a whole lot of PS2 Classic recently. I think because I played so much of it on the Sega servers, I don't really feel much need to play it. But we'll do it on stream every so often. Is PSU like PSO in terms of drops, or is it more like PSO2? In terms of how the drops are distributed, if that's the case, it's kind of a difficult one to answer because PSU used to let you kind of choose how the drops worked, so you could either choose if things went to the person who picked them up, or you could have it where it would go through every player in order every time a rare dropped. Or you could have it where it was just randomly assigned every time something rare dropped. On Clementine, I think it's instanced. So I think whatever drops for you is yours to take. So it's kind of like a Phineas, I guess, you know. And if it isn't like that, then I apologize to everyone for stealing all the res. I think the main big difference... Yeah, the main big difference with PSU to PSO for drops is some drops will drop as what are called synthesis boards, where you have to then make the item. Some weapons and stuff will just drop pre-made, like this Yasha drop pre-made. But yeah, there are some things where you have to get a synthesis board and then craft them. So we get used to Sky stealing all the I was going to say booty, but looty. I mean, booty works as well. Yeah, looty or booty is fine. Do they update the PS2 Classic anymore, or is it just a maintenance mode? Yeah, I mean, it gets seasonal lobbies, but it's pretty much just there. It doesn't get updates or anything. Obviously, their focus is on NGS. Honestly, though, the state of PS2 Classic, it's kind of got everything, or pretty much everything the Japanese version had anyway, so... Crafting in my Phantasy Star must have been ripping off my crafter. Yeah, the crafting in PSU was very, very panic-inducing. Particularly on the Sega servers, you know. You would hunt for ages, try and find a synthesis board for a really rare weapon. You'd find it. Then you give it to your partner machine to synthesize it. You might have to find some rare materials for it as well. And then quite often your partner machine will be like, yeah, it's going to be about like a 50% chance of success. It's been a while since you last played on Clementine, too long. I mean, the event's on, I think, until November the 2nd. And then I think there are boosts that are going live on the server once the event ends. Unfortunately, I won't be able to participate in those because I will be in Japan. Yeah, kind of been, yeah. They have crafted and claimed, don't they, can fail for all the ultimate armors, okay. Exactly, Meki, yeah. So it's like, oh yeah, it'll be a 37% chance of success. Come back in 24 hours and we'll see what happens. I think I mention this every time this comes up, but I think the Agito replica was one of the worst things for that, because you'd find the board, you'd find all the Agito edges to make it, which are pretty rare. Then I think it was about maybe a 60 or 70% chance of success, maybe. And then you craft it, and even if it did work, it would be super weak, and you had to grind it to make it good. And then there was a chance you'd just blow the weapon up. Like, people who weren't around at the time, like, do not realize how harsh PSU base game was. It was brutal. The Fog quest is going to be replaced next week along with this one, and we're getting a Desert 4-player quest instead. And instead of this one, we get a Guardian's exam, whatever that is. I like that they're changing things up. I know we are running the same quest a lot here, but it's kind of what this event is, so I'm fine doing this. Pretty sure characters and stuff are long gone by now. I don't know, Clementine. I don't know if they delete characters after inactivity. No idea. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, not to mention that, Meki, yeah. All that on top of the fact that elements were percentage based too, so you could do everything right and then get like 1% element. Yeah, it was a nightmare. So they did make it a bit easier in the expansion. At least they made it so that if you fail to grind, you just lose like 1 to the maximum grind, rather than destroying the whole weapon. But you still had to synth and still, you know, hope that worked. Yeah, it's been quite a while if that's how long it's been since you played. Yeah, I don't know what Clementine's policy is for like deleting characters. I don't know if they do or not. I can't imagine them doing it because, I mean, it's not like we have a massive player base on Clementine. I can't imagine it's that much of an issue to keep people's characters. Item synth wasn't working at the time. I don't know if I've tried synthing anything on Clementine, honestly. I think the good thing is I think a lot of the weapons do tend to drop pre-made now, but there are still some that are still boards, I think. Oh yeah, and you have to deal with RNG for grinders as well. So you craft grinders, and when you craft them you get a random quality of grinder. Yeah, there's definitely been major updates to this recently though. The launcher has been completely updated. The resolution actually seems to work kind of properly now. So there used to be a big problem with this game for me where I basically, every time I would play this, I would have to use borderless gaming, which is like a app you use to make something playable borderless. Borderless is now built into the game. And there was also a weird issue where sometimes I'd load it and it would just load at really low resolution, despite the fact that the resolution was set properly. That doesn't seem to have happened since the launcher update. You failed upgrading one of your weapons like 50 times. Yeah, PSU took no prisoners, man. At least in Clem, if you get 1% element, you can use GC to boost it to 40%. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of funny playing Clementine because obviously it has a lot of things that were active on the Japanese server, which we never got on the Western server. I haven't played in a while, but you had to play borderless as well. But if you clicked on any other screen, the game would just shut down. Well, for reference, I've got it in borderless at the minute. I'll click in another window. I'm now in another window, and I click back, and it's fine. So, it seems to work okay for me. You would think that this boss theme would get old, but no. I know they've used it in other event quests as well, but I think now that I have the context for this boss theme, it hits way harder. Yeah, 8-bit there. I mean, it's kind of crazy how much we missed out on the Western version. I mean, the Western version didn't even get to the final level cap. I can't remember what level cap it got to now, but I know it wasn't 200. I think I'm pretty sure the server shut down before we got to level 200. Wait until the Profound Darkness theme. I mean, I know what the theme is because obviously I played PSO 2, but I'm interested to hear the Phantasy Star 4 version of it, like the original version. I'm just hoping that I don't spend 3 hours on Wednesday getting completely bodied by Profound Darkness. Because I have no idea how hard that fight's going to be. I'm going to assume pretty hard. Missing out on Phantasy Star content is the story of the West for a few decades now. I mean, they kind of rectified it a bit with NGS and PSO2, I guess. But yeah, we have missed a lot. It's easy if you have Raja. That's a Rack Series OP. That's honestly the main reason I took him. There's a female cast in this game, this Evelyn. She kind of looks... I know it's like an older outfit, but she kind of reminds me a bit of Kanui from NGS. I think it's the horns and everything. You could almost say she's a twin Kanui. Well done. Albeit I'm talking about Profound Darkness from Phantasy Star 4, not the PSO2 one. Like the original Profound Darkness. Still eating that, no, Drac. Yeah, for those who are interested, I will be doing a video for Phantasy Star 4 once I complete it. Ziggy has emote. Oh, that is great. Yeah, does Ziggy play Phoenix, right? I don't know if I've ever seen him play it. Played the first trilogy. Yeah, I need to play more of them. I played all the first game, including the DLC case. I think I played about half of the second and didn't get onto the third yet. But from what I played, I really, really enjoyed it. The second one is so cursed. Only really enjoy the Phoenix Wright games. Any with another pro tag I'm not too keen on. Yeah, I haven't tried the Edgeworth games or the Apollo Justice ones. It'll be interesting to see just how much has changed and now works properly when I do go back to Clementine. I mean, it seems pretty solid now. You need to sit out for a game. Ah, no worries. Well, I will start this one, see if anyone joins. I think everyone had to take a break at the same time. Give it a second, see if anyone jumps in. You eat and chat, no worries. I could go spend gas points, that is a good point. Yeah. Let's actually do that while people are waiting. Spending gas on classes you haven't even played yet. Can I do that from here? I can. Yeah, I guess I could change my other weapons to dark as well. I mean, it costs, what, 1 point? You don't have the level or the power to really do much besides flop on the floor at the first enemy that taps me on the shoulder. Okay, well, let's do this class first. Go grind Yasha so we can see it break. I'd rather reserve my misery for off-stream. Are you going to do a story summary after you finish Phantasy Star 4 of how they link together, or just do a solo video like the other ones? I definitely want to do a solo video. I may do a video that covers the classic games in general. I think I would be interested in doing story summaries of them. I don't know how much interest there'd be in that. Increases the rate of critical attacks by 15%. I mean, that seems okay. Just that encounter are nice to have and crit chance. You got 49 Lightning Garen, Samba Maracas, Blitzfender, all you, plus also got a saver box, nice. Don't think I've seen a box yet. Do the slot machines in Casino Volley all work yet? I know the roulette works. I can't remember if I tried the slot machines. Okay, they're maxed out. That's it. I mean, I've got no 10-10s anywhere, but I remember you talking about video IDs a while ago. Don't know how well something like that would fall in line with what you wanted. Yeah, I mean, if people have ideas for videos that they'd like me to do, well, I'm always open for hearing things. I do have on the Discord, there is like a channel suggestions section on there. So if there's any kind of video ideas that you'd be interested in seeing, by all means, feel free to drop them in there. Boost evade on the basic abilities. Strength and accuracy level 5 are nice as well. See, this is the part of PSU I'm really not familiar with, because this, to my knowledge, was never in the Western version, the whole gas system. If it was, I just don't remember it. Aqua classes evade tank for days, especially with the evade boosts. And we'll get some accuracy because we are a beast, therefore we have no accuracy. We've got 9 AP left. That only gives 50 HP per level, which seems really pointless. We have like over 5,000 health, so I don't think I need 50 more. Defense 3. Yeah, we can go with that. It's max beast moment. Yeah, I guess since someone mentioned the slot machines in Volley, I'll quickly go and check those and see if they do work. I'm pretty sure they do. Styles inspired EX styles, by the way. Can I go from here? We can. Yeah, a few people have said that gas was in the Western version. It's weird because I played PSU from like day 1 until the day the servers went down. I have no knowledge of it. I cannot remember it existing at all. So I'm really not sure. I actually do need to come here actually to get my casino coins. If it was, I must have ignored it. I think I must have ignored it as well. I just don't remember it. Stop PSU before it's you, not just you. Went to the casino, but can we go to the long line of flat dots? It was definitely covered back on the PSU PG back in the day. I mean, unless that was to do with the Japanese version, but yeah, it's been so long, I cannot remember. Right, let's try this. So it would appear the slot machines work. No rapping music from Zero, unfortunately. This is not rappy slots. I mean, it does have rappies. Clementine's server is saved. We have gambling. We do. Oh. Surprised Dalgun's face, isn't that? Oh. Remember going to the casino for the first time you were shocked because you thought PSO2 was the only one to have a casino. No, PSU was there first. I mean, you would think I'm winning a lot of money with how excited it gets there, but that was like 10 coins. Yeah, so the casino in PSU had the slot machines and also had the roulette as well. It is pretty generous for coins, yeah. Yeah, it gets so excited for the sake of 10 coins. I'll show the roulette in a minute as well for anyone who hasn't seen it before. Just give me one more win. Current jackpot is 50 silver coins. Nice. Yeah, so for all that there, we got 3 coins. Thanks again. Just one more win, spoken like a true gambler. Yeah, so this is a roulette. Now, the issue with the roulette is that you need to be able to, first of all, read PSU font. I mean, I guess you can work out it's black and red. That's kind of easy. Yeah, so the coins get added to the coins I've got with me. I can then deposit the coins at the counter over there if I want to. The slight issue with the PSU roulette is deciphering the roulette wheel. You spin but not as anything. I mean, I know my coins did go over 1 silver, so it seems to work. Yeah, so this, it's not too bad. You can kind of work out it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's when you get over to the other side and it's like just a lot of symbols. I mean, you get to a point where you work out what they all mean. But yeah, I feel they probably could have just put the numbers on and people would have been fine with that. You remember when you and Drac taught deployable the PSU font? Yeah, the PSU font is a nightmare, but you can kind of work it out. I mean, I'm pretty sure that says prize, I think. And I think that says, I think it's coins EX, as in coins exchange, I think. Or coin X. But yeah, it's a struggle. Let's deposit these coins, actually. In fact, I want to check the prize shop, actually, and see what it actually has, because I never check it. Yeah, every planet also has a different font here. Which is a nice little touch, honestly. I do like that there's a double saber just called Tornado Stick that has no attack power but 9999 PP. So you can just spam Tornado Dance with it. Allows the wielder to fly like the wind, less effective when used traditionally. No, it's not a hand stick, this one, no. I had to download the NGS font to read that. I don't think I can download the PSU font. Yeah, the NGS font is pretty bad. There's also a claw called Zoomies, which is the best name for a claw. Which is getting used for the same thing. Allows the wielder to dash like a mythical beast, invokes the spirit of breakfast. Let's forget PSU had the whole room customization as well. How much money do I actually have? Yeah, it invokes the spirit of breakfast, yeah. Like a cat on Zoomies. Alright, we can go back to the event lobby now. You can read PSU writing. It's like an almost English font. Yeah, you can work it out if you look at it for long enough, but it can be a bit difficult sometimes. Also, I just want to have a quick look actually and just see what else is here. I think we used this lobby last year for Halloween as well, but I don't remember a lot of it. Yeah, the font differs depending on what planet you go to. I see you, Rappy. I was wondering if that was a hidden dressing room, because there are certain lobbies in this game that have hidden dressing rooms. This dude's talking about Hololive. I did not think there would be a Hololive reference. Okay. I suspect this probably wasn't in the original game. You know, because the original game obviously predated Hololive. Is there no other secrets in this lobby? I don't think there is. Yeah, Hololive have like an actual gaming, kind of. I don't know if it's a gaming company or if it's like a collection of indie devs. But yeah, there's been a few games. Tornado Dance was always awesome for getting around the missions. Yeah, that's basically the only reason you used it. Do you think there's a chance for Phantasy Star representation in Crossworld? I think there's an outside chance. We don't know what a lot of the Sega characters are going to be yet. I know we're getting Joker from Persona and Kasuga from Like a Dragon. Obviously, we've got Miko as well. I think it would be nice to have, I'd say, like maybe a Rappy as a playable character. I think that would work. Joker needs to bugger off. Have Mika from PSP2. I mean, that would be an outside, that would definitely be an outside choice. He's not even a character, he's a projection of yourself. Oh, Zell's back. Hatsune Mika. I mean, I guess, you know, I guess they have to milk Persona, you know? Although I am kind of surprised that it's Joker from Persona and not a character from Metaphor. You would think with Metaphor being a more recent game that they would choose that, but... I was going to ask who would you put for Phantasy Star, but Rappy was a good call. Also, although a Rappy driving a car or a board sounds odd. I mean, they have a creeper from Minecraft on in a cart, so... I mean, there is some other choices. I mean, if they wanted to use more current Phantasy Star, I guess they could use like on the floating boards from NGS, because that would translate quite well to Crossworlds. I guess they would have to use like someone like Aina or Manon, and I don't know if that would be popular enough really to have them justify it. I mean, you could also have Ethan on a board, but who wants Ethan? Yeah, I'm not sure, Kilniath. I don't know if it was just Atlas or if it was still tied to Sega. If they have Miku, I could see them using Aina or Manon. Yeah. To be fair though, Miku is a lot more famous than the NGS characters. Every Sega character is coming with their vehicle. I think people have been saying that apparently Knights might be one of the characters. Obviously stuff like Jet Set Radio would work really well as well. Same with stuff like Crazy Taxi. That kind of writes itself. You could even have obscure stuff like a Golden Axe character riding one of the dragon things. I think the only downside with the Sega characters they've added is that none of them have any voice lines, which kind of sucks. But it's good to see more getting added to the game. And I think all the Sega characters are free as well, so I can't really complain too much. Yeah, I guess they could use Joe Musashi, because the new Shinobi. If it sells, they'll add it. I'd like to say all these Sega characters have all been free DLC anyway. I think it's just the non-Sega stuff that is paid. Add Ash. What vehicle would Ash have though? You're worried that if Crossworlds were to get Aina or Manon, they'd be heavily censored, and then have PSO2 get censored. I'd like PSO2 to remain for adults. I mean, the Western version of PSO2 already has some censorship in it. Not a huge amount, but there is a little bit. Or things that just weren't released on the Western one. I think for NGS though, I don't really know what you'd censor on Aina or Manon. Like, they're kind of fine. Nobody wants Ethan. I mean, that is like the recurring thing since PSU was launched, is that no one wants Ethan ever. Like, no one likes Ethan. And if you say you do, you are lying to yourself. Lumia is more popular than Ethan. She probably is. I do feel Ethan is definitely one of the more forgettable pro tags of, well, pretty much any game. think like the only representation that Ethan's had recently is there was some line strike cards added to NGS not so long back, and I think there was one of Ethan. I think. Yeah, I don't feel that the PSO2 got censored too much. I know there is a scene in, I think it's PSO2 F4. There was like a whole bathhouse scene in the Japanese version. I know that was, I can't remember if it was either censored in the Western version or just removed completely. But honestly, having played the Japanese version, it really didn't add much to the game anywhere. It was more like a comic relief part of the game. It really didn't... You didn't lose much by losing that. I get why some people were annoyed they got removed, but... I guess in the West it was kind of seen as quite an inappropriate scene. You know, I guess bearing in mind the ages of the characters. It's kind of one of those scenes that was probably more acceptable to the Japanese audience. Yeah, it did have the height slider modified as well, but yeah, that is true. So you can't make really, really lolly characters in the Western version. Which I do think is quite dumb, because some people just want to... I don't think people should be stopped from being able to play as like a child character if they want to. If you want your main character to be a child, I don't see why you shouldn't be able to. But so that is a weird choice. I will agree there. Not that I have any interest in making any of my characters like that, but it is a weird choice. I think it is still different, yeah. I don't think anything's changed. I wasn't even aware it was a thing until... I think someone who played the Japanese server brought it up. I didn't even realise it was actually a thing. I played the Japanese version of the game a lot, but again, none of my characters were ever really, really small, so I never noticed it. I remember seeing a character that looks like a dwarf out of WoW and PSO2. Short isn't only for child characters. Yeah, exactly. I think it's even weirder when you consider that some of the Phantasy Star games have had literal children as the main cast. I mean, PSU. You know, in PSU, Lumia is really young. She was a bit older in the portable games, but yeah, in PSU she's still really young. Can't stand Tonio. The funny thing is, I think Tonio... I'm pretty sure... I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure that Tonio isn't a kid. I'm pretty sure... I think it's explained in PSP2 that he's... I think he's part of like a beast race that is deliberately small so that... so that they could do like hard labour in small spaces. Yeah, he's like 30. You know, but you still don't like him. I mean, I get that. He does redeem himself a bit in PSP2. He's a bit more likeable in that. He doesn't really have a whole lot to do with the story, but he chills out a bit more in PSP2. Yeah, exactly, yeah. He's literally married to Lena and has a kid. I think the whole deal was that they made beast tribes of like different physical statures so they could use them for different jobs. Because if you weren't familiar with the lore of it all, the beasts were basically made to do like slave labor. That's the thing, yeah, I mean, the whole bathhouse thing it's like a very Japan-coded thing. Yeah, like communal bathhouses just aren't really a common thing in a lot of countries. But yeah, that whole thing, it didn't really add anything to the story, honestly. It was just kind of some of the characters, like, a lot of it was some of the characters kind of joking around with each other and taking the mick out of each other. PSO has a lot of Sonic stuff in it, but I think Sonic games never really had PSO stuff. Yeah, generally there's not much carryover. Didn't all the Sonic games have a humor outfit for Sonic or something? Possibly. Never seen it myself, but I'm not saying it didn't happen. Yeah, there is. I can't remember which game it is now. I don't know if it's... Is it maybe Sonic, like one of the Sonic Adventure games? Where there's a PSO ad in the background on one of the levels? And I think in one of the Sonic kart racing games, not Cross Worlds, I think one of the other ones, I'm sure there's like an achievement or something which is called Phantasy Star. I'm sure I remember saying that. But yeah, there's generally not much carryover. Yeah, exactly 8-bit. Yeah, their beast tribe is basically like a dwarf beast tribe, and it was just so they could do slave labor in like mining tunnels and stuff. There was a humor outfit for Sonic in Sonic Adventure 2. Okay. So Sonic is a humor confirmed. Sonic Adventure 2 had some PSO themed alternate outfits and an item box in Mad Space. Okay. Diggy diggy hole. Yeah, that's what all the beasts did. But the small ones anyway. It's like a common thing with the Phantasy Stars. You tend to find that most of the races that are not humans tend to be just experiments by the humans to do work for them. You can't wait for a ChatGPT recast. Oh yeah, exactly 8-bit. Yeah, I mean, it's obvious that, you know, there's lots of Sonic stuff in PSO because, you know, it was made by Sonic Team. I can never remember if NGS is still listed as Sonic Team or if it's technically its own team branch now. I've got a feeling it's its own thing now. It's crazy how overpowered a lot of the techs look in PSU, particularly when they're like above level 41. Seeing you play PSO and PSU is a joy. Yeah, good to see your passion flow. I think PSO2 has its own team. Yeah, I'll always like PSU. As I say, it'll never be my favourite Phantasy Star game, but it's a game that I think has got better in the years since it released. I think, you know, it's no secret it wasn't really liked that much by a lot of people back then, but it's aged pretty well. PSO2 is a completely different team. So they do have a roadmap for NGS at the minute. One of the biggest things on it that I'm very excited for at the minute is that they have kind of hinted there's going to be a PSO collaboration towards the end of the year, which I'm assuming is going to tie in with the 25th anniversary of PSO. Genetic experiments have always been a thing in Phantasy Star. Yeah, when was the first example of it? Was it Phantasy Star 2 with Nier? Well, Nier first, I guess. I'm trying to think if there was any in the first game. I guess there was it Dr. Mad in Phantasy Star 1? But I can't remember what he actually did. Worried about 2027 because I don't know if that's when PSO2 shuts down and gets a new director. Oh, Happy Rappy Parasol U+. Sure. He owned Laconian pots and wanted to kill cats. Okay. It's been a while since I did the first game. I've forgotten some of the intricacies now. Screw that guy, yeah, exactly. It is a long name for weapon, it is. Alright, what is this parasol? The Rappies are so cute is what this lovely parasol rod is all about. An odd item that brings more happiness as you use it. Sure. Someone was buying that parasol at 10 out of 10 grind for 100 mil. The slight issue is getting it to 10-10 grind. Well, hey, maybe there's a chance. I think Sega should pull a Mania and work with the fan service to make them an official PSO or PSU classic. Yeah, I mean, I suppose at the minute, the games are just kind of left to the private servers. It kind of feels to me like Sega know about the private servers and see people playing them and just think there's not much sense us doing one. Like our own server again. Right, I guess they could also just pull like a Nintendo and just try and shut things down. Hopefully they don't, but I mean, obviously, I'm an NGS creator, and I do obviously loads of videos about PSO and PSU private servers, and I've never had any issues, so... I kind of feel like Sega just kind of looked the other way at the minute, as they have done for years. I think if they were trying to make money from private servers, then Sega would probably have an issue, I think. To Sega's credit, they usually embrace fan projects, yeah. You got Floating Dagger U+, oh nice one. You've got an idea for PSO2 after 2027 if they do shut it down. Build a separate client for single player, allow the player to download the characters and play long after EOS. As much as I would like to think that they would do that, yeah, I think it'll be a case of once NJ shuts down, that'll be it. I very much doubt you'll be able to save your character or anything. Sega fans have fan games and private servers, Nintendo fans have lawsuits. I mean, you're not wrong. We eat good. Yeah, I think Sega's focus definitely at the minute is obviously on continued sales for Cross Worlds, Persona 4 Revival, and Yakuza Kiwami 3. For sure. Are you stuck? Door stuck? How has that happened? Are you actually just stuck in that? Yeah, they had to actually leave. Wonder how that happened. We lost colony defenders for this. I don't hear from many companies about what they want the fans to see in-game via server. I know Capcom do surveys now and again for Monster Hunter, but that tends to be like whenever they do one of the streams about what you thought of it, not necessarily about how the game is. I think Sega historically, I think they've always been a company that has generally listened to the fans for the most part. Although now and again they do pull crazy stunts. I know there was recently a YouTuber who got raided because I think they had some It was some kind of development kits, I think, for some consoles. I think it was Nintendo consoles, but Sega tipped it off to police and got them raided. The guy I'd heard apparently bought these dev kits legitimately. I don't know what's happened with that recently. I haven't heard any more about it, but apparently it's like a very well-known streamer that concentrates on like retro consoles and find like gaming rarities. Actually very happy with Crossworlds because I always heard how Nintendo had a monopoly in the genre almost. Crossworlds, from what I've played of it, I mean, I've only played a few hours of it, but it seems really solid. I can't really say if it's better or worse than Mario Kart because I haven't played the new one. But Crossworlds seems really fun. In World Night Spawn, Capcom created a great sword for a contest and made it a weapon. They did that in Wilds as well. They just announced the winner of it recently, which was another great sword. Regal Lancer U+. Yeah, I don't know how they got stuck. I don't know if it was maybe it was a photo art that like got them out of bounds or something. It needs a PSO track. I feel like a track would be better for PSO than a character. All Sonic racing games are good, but people just really overhype Mario Kart. I think like someone said earlier, it's just because Mario Kart has kind of had the monopoly on the kart racing for so long. Like when a Mario Kart releases now, people just expect it to be good. So I think it is good that Sega have come along with Crossworlds and have put out a really solid game. Because hopefully it kind of inspires both companies to keep making better. Oh, you got a Demolition Comet U+, nice. I mean, I think the only downside of Crossworlds I can think of really is I think the price is maybe slightly higher priced than I would like. I think they have priced it a little high maybe. But having said that, it's probably still cheaper than Mario Kart. I'm assuming Mario Kart is probably still full price because Nintendo apparently never do sales on anything. Well, not first party stuff anyway. Yeah, I will admit I was genuinely surprised how good Crossworlds was. It's still full price. The time they do sales usually around the holidays, yeah. Sega never do regional pricing. I didn't realise that. I mean, it wasn't like excessively expensive. I mean, compared to some games, you know. But I feel it could have been a little cheaper. I guess, you know, they have confidence in the game. they probably think they can sell it fine for that price. I think from what I've heard, it seems to have sold pretty well, so... Although oddly, apparently it didn't sell that well in Japan. I never realised this, but apparently some Sonic games just don't sell that well in Japan. Yeah, I find it really strange that Sonic doesn't do great in Japan, but... Still on the fence about getting a Switch 2, waiting for something to really wow me. Yeah, at the minute I've got no real interest in getting one. I've got a Switch 1, I use it for a few things, but yeah, I have no real desire to get a Switch 2 yet. I think for that price I've been more inclined to just buy a Steam Deck instead. Never buy a Switch, you just buy as a form factor. I think it's... I mean, it's not great if you're using it as a handheld. I think it's totally playable, and it at least is better than the PSP. Because to me, the PSP is still like the worst form factor of any handheld. Like, the PSP I found physically painful to play after a while. Some Japanese guy I chat with a bit with my broken Japanese said that Sonic was slowly getting bigger and bigger over there. Oh, cool. I guess Nintendo is just so much of a powerhouse in Japan that it's kind of hard to compete with it. But I've always been more of a Sega person, so... Some really big Japanese streamers stream the games, that's nice. Don't I play with the claw hands on PSP Monster Hunter Sky? So the only PSP Monster Hunter I played is I played a demo of Freedom Unite. And yeah, the claw grip I'm not a fan of. It wasn't even just that, it was just any game I tried playing with it, like even PSP 2. I just don't find the PSP a comfortable console to use at all. It would just give me my hands cramp after using it for a while. I mean, I wonder, I know someone said that apparently Sonic's getting more popular in Japan now. I wonder if part of that is maybe from the Sonic movies, maybe? Because, you know, they've been pretty well received. We've got another Happy Rappy Parasol U+. So I guess if we blow one up, we've got another backup one. You like the Vita more, but Sony made sure to kill that. Yeah, the Vita just didn't do well. I don't know if it just wasn't well marketed or there just wasn't many games for it, but they were well received after fans told them to fix it. Now do the same for Phantasy Star games. Yeah, I feel like that they're getting there with NGS. It is slowly improving the longer it's been out. And they have got to a point now where with the NGS headlines as well, they do tend to do like developer interviews and developer feedback as well. And they will sometimes like acknowledge some of the issues people have got with the game, which is nice. Yeah, I never had a PS Vita. You love your PSP. Don't get me wrong, I like the console and in terms of I like a lot of the games that were released for it. I just don't like holding the console. Speaking of Vita, PS Nova when? Yeah, we still need to do PS Nova at some point. Yeah, maybe once I'm back from Japan, because I think next week we should finish Phantasy Star 4, so that'll be all the classic JRPGs done, apart from some of the little side games. And there's not many other Phantasy Star games we need to cover. I think after 4, we've got the text adventures for 2. I guess Gaiden, like Phantasy Star Gaiden and Phantasy Star Adventure, maybe, if there's English translations for those, maybe. Well, then that is getting really niche. Took a big break from NGS and recently came back. Didn't expect to have so many new systems. Mars, Styles, and Rings got added too, yeah. Rings literally got added early this week. EX Styles was the week before that, and Mars was added a few months back. Mars is okay. I'm not a huge lover of it. I think it is fairly simple. I think they could have done a lot more with Mars. I just want you to try the classic games. Honestly, I'm so glad you did. Because really, I mean, with the exception of 3, the classic games have been really solid. Even 3 wasn't as bad as people made it out to be. It was just a bit rougher on the edges. I feel like NGS definitely wasn't getting big systems like those nearly as often before. Yeah, they've expanded it quite a bit recently. So yeah, I think Mars could maybe do with a bit of a rethink. I mean, it works okay, it's just that I don't really feel like there's a whole lot of thought into how to use it. It feels kind of spammy. But the EX style system they've just added is really good. It also actually makes it so I can actually play Gunner in NGS now and not feel like I'm terrible. Like EX Styles is pretty much saved Gunner. I mean, the team behind NGS is a lot the same people who were involved with PS2. Not all of them, but... Nova is next on my list. Haven't played NGS at all yet. But by the time you play NGS, it might have a story. I mean, we're getting something with the story with the little side episodes. They are a bit more than I thought they would be. Yeah, that is definitely the big weak point of NGS, the story side of things. You need to start a faster internet provider. Internet's garbage at the minute. Oh, sucks. It will finish first, NGS story or Game of Thrones story. Oh, no worries, Bank. Good to see you. No doubt we'll try and do a challenge mode, maybe on Thursday. Talking about the director, they changed the director from an industry veteran to a monster designer who worked on 3 games for NGS. He won't be experienced as the previous. Yeah, I do feel like with NGS, I feel it was like very experimental when they first launched it. It kind of feels like they're starting to get things together, which is good. Yeah, it's interesting really, and so I know some stuff in NGS is locked behind story, but the story doesn't take that long to get through. Even like the main story quests really aren't that long. I think even for the new EX style stuff, I'm pretty sure that for the EX styles you have to clear, I want to say it's chapter 3 of story, which is really not that far in. Game of Thrones is never going to get finished. George R. R. Martin hasn't finished written a thing in years. He seems like a bitter old man these days. I mean, wasn't he kind of busy with... Wasn't he connected to like Elden Ring? Didn't he help out with that? Yeah, but I think NGS visually looks pretty good. The only issue I have visually with NGS is when you're doing something that's kind of an intensive area, so something like a PSE burst, it can get kind of overload with all the effects on screen. I mean, PSU is kind of a bit like that, but it's way worse in PSR2 and NGS. When I tried to get my friends to play, they needed to do so much solo story that we couldn't do together, so they left. I guess, I mean, I kind of see the point in getting some stuff behind story, because I guess some areas won't make sense if you don't have the story context, but would just also prevent people from playing together, which is kind of the point of an MMO, whether you class NGS an MMO or not. Yeah, the PSE bursts, when there's a lot going on, sometimes you just cannot see your character and you just kind of mash buttons and just assume that you're hitting things. Been playing Star Resonance since it came out. It's not really like PSO, more so like Star Ocean if anything. Find it be fun. Yeah, I've seen a few people playing. That's it's Blue Protocol, that, isn't it? I've seen a few people playing it. For me, it doesn't really interest me, honestly. Yeah, I don't know, for me, from what little I've seen of it, it's just not my kind of game. NGS might be the most particle-heavy game out there. it is pretty hardcore for the particles here. I mean, you can turn the effects down, but it still doesn't really help that much. Fist roll, PSE burst, spam all abilities, profit, yeah. I can't argue with that. I mean, that was the same in PSO2 base as well, to be fair, but yeah. I do wonder on this quest why they chose this song. Because it doesn't really have any connection to anything that's going on. Two or three more of these and I join the 200 club finally. Oh, nice one. Blue Protocol's biggest problem for me is the limitations of the character creation. I want to make a chubby or buff character or goblin, stuff like that, and Blue Protocol doesn't let me do that. I've seen some people who've made their PSO2 characters in Blue Protocol and they look fairly similar. But yeah, for me, there's just not a whole lot about the game that really makes me want to play it. I also have no idea how free-to-play friendly it is. I'm going to assume there's some kind of gacha elements to it, but I could be wrong. Oh, got a few weapons. Double saber gift box and a machine gun gift box, nice. It does have gacha. I mean, so does NGS, obviously, but it kind of depends like how invasive the gacha is. In NGS, I don't really mind it because it is pretty much only for cosmetic stuff. There's the capsules, I guess, but you can make a totally fine build without the Pay-to-Win capsules. I think I've got time for maybe one more run, and then I'll do these gift boxes and see what they are. Yeah, I'm not strictly against gacha as such. I think if it's used and isn't too invasive into the main gameplay, I'm not necessarily against it. Especially if the game's free to play, that I think it's okay. It's when it starts getting really intrusive that it becomes a problem. You're gonna head off Zell? Ah, no worries. Thanks for the games. You quit using the paid augments from the player shop because it's just too expensive for you to maintain it and they don't last on the shop, yeah. I suppose at the very least now, at least there are augment transfer passes now. So if you do get a paid augment and get an augment transfer pass, at least you can then transfer the augment to another weapon when you get a weapon upgrade, which does help. The thing is, there are so many augments in NGS now that you don't need the paid augments. You can make a totally fine build from the free-to-play stuff. The only issue is that some of the augments are really hard to get. I think within just with the gacha as well, you know, aside from the capsules, obviously everything else is more or less cosmetics, and I guess at least you can still buy those cosmetics from other player shops, and you don't need premium to be able to do that, which is nice. And just monetization feels fine because the player base is extremely chill. Same monetization with player base in most of the MMOs with feel pay to win. I mean, honestly, for the pay-to-win augments, there's very little that you really, quote-unquote, need them for. I mean, yeah, if you want to do like a solo run of Malignant Vial, then yeah, maybe you need the paid augments. But yeah, generally it's not that much of an issue. You use the Lux, Grand, and Stat Cell. Forget the full list, but LCs are no longer needed with Ultra Realm. Yeah, Ultra Realm gives tons of capsules. It's really good for farming them. I tend to use the LC capsules until I have a good like selection of non-LC ones. I mean, even stuff like Ultia Dominant is a bit easier to get now. But then if you want to grind, there are also the really difficult augments to get, like Lois Halfinale. If you want to get that, that is quite a grind to get, or a lot of money. Mainly because it requires Magis Halfinale, which I could be wrong, but I think the best way of getting Magis capsules is from Masquerader. I think the issue for me being is I have a lot of characters. I think NGS augments are probably totally fine if you've got one character. You probably equip them quite easily. For me, I have about 6 or 7 characters. And I can usually equip 2 or 3 of them absolutely fine. After that, I start to really struggle because I start running out of capsules. So I've got a few characters that just survive on like LC augment hand downs. Yeah, if anyone is on NGS as well, at the moment there is currently a grand campaign on where I think it's the Progre and Eskel armors and the Juvolg, Volgan, and Einden weapons all have grind boosts. So it's well worth playing to get your stuff grinded if you haven't already. Glorious Wings U+. What is that? It's a knuckle. Cool. You have 12 different characters. Let's make unique stories for each of them, hence why I have so many. Fuma Shuriken U+. Oh, nice one. I think I'm using Fuma Shuriken at the minute. Yeah, I've got one, but mine's only the U one. Yeah, I suppose one of the good things if you have a lot of characters with NGS, at least with the way the tickets work, is if you get 2 of something, at least it unlocks for everything and future characters as well, which is nice. But yeah, there are some things though where I just have, you know, absolutely no other characters with some gear because it's just too expensive. Oh, thanks for the bits, Kilniaf. We're going to head off too. Thanks for the stream. Have a cracking week, all. Same to you as well, Kilniaf. Hope all the streams and everything are going well for you. Most of my characters are only for getting more weekly Mazetta quests from the guy in Frank in verse. I respect that. It goes so fast the time when I'm streaming PSU. Doesn't feel like I've been live for nearly 3 hours already. Yeah, I remember the old PSO2 base Mazetta grind, you know, trying to do all the time attack orders every week and everything. Tackle meta was until Ep 2 or so. I just remember doing a lot. There was also, I think there was like a daily order for Balrodus that he used to do whenever it was on as well. That was like 250,000 Mazetta. You have 17 different characters. You got back in time, PK. Good to see you. Yeah, this is our last run. Yeah, I can't remember how many characters I've got. I'm sure it's around 6 or 7, I think. And even that is a problem. I would say if you were just starting out in NGS, probably just stick with 1 character to begin with. It makes a lot of things a lot easier. Every time it's like a new gear upgrade, I just despair, knowing I've got to upgrade like 6 or 7 characters. I hate how in this game you get a lot of ultra rare weapons from other games. I mean, I literally found Yasha first run. Oh, no gift box this time. A lot of grinders though. It's the best Phantasy Star game drop-wise because you see everywhere ever. You got a laser cannon gift box. Oh, nice one. Do you want to go to the Guardians hub then, Drac, before we end the stream and open these boxes? Yeah, thank you for the party, everyone. Alright. Let's go to the Guardians hub and open these loot boxes. You got a Bionic Edge U+. Alright, let's see what we get. So let's do the machine gun one first. Magana Revolta U+ fell from the sky. That's the Magas Magana gun, isn't it, I think? I'm pretty sure. And then we've got a double saber one. Merenenka U+. I think I remember Merenenka from PSP2, I think? It's only 13 light, which kind of sucks. I guess we can boost that up, but... PS0 weapon. Does it say anything in the description? Double saber 3-prong blades. I need to look that up and see which one that is. Okay, it's not the one I'm thinking of. I actually don't recognize it at all. Oh yeah, the one I'm thinking of is Tenimusu. Yeah. But hey, we got those. But yeah, I think we'll probably call it that for today, I think. Posted it in PSU chat. Yeah, it's like a sort of like a halberd blade on each end, isn't it? It looks very weird. But yeah, we'll end that stream there for today, I think. So on Wednesday, there will be Phantasy Star 4 stream, which should be the final stream for Phantasy Star 4. Because I think we're going to do the final boss. Whether we beat it is another thing altogether. On Tuesday, there'll be a video for non-members. And then there'll be, obviously, another stream next Sunday as well. You should check out Cosmic Star Heroine for Wednesday after Front Mission. I'll look into that. I don't know if I've heard of that. I'll look into it. I mean, Front Mission will probably take a while, I think. I mean, there are technically 2 stories for Front Mission. I'll do one of them for sure. But yeah, that will take quite a few streams to get through, I think. But yeah, this Wednesday, though, will be Phantasy Star 4. The finale to that, hopefully. And then Sunday, I'll have a think about what we do for Sunday. Obviously, I am going to Japan beginning of November, so we've only got a couple more Sunday streams before I go. So we might squeeze in one PSO stream before I go away, but we'll see. But yeah, we will end up there for today. So thank you everyone for coming out today, and thank you for all the bits and the resubs as well, and the memberships on YouTube. I will see you guys on Wednesday for Phantasy Star 4. If you have enjoyed the stream, just consider the usual, either like, subscribe, join as a member if you want to, follow sub on Twitch, follow X or Bluesky, and also have a Discord server you can join as well, so feel free to join us there. Yeah, whatever you're doing, Have a good week, and I'll see you on Wednesday. And thank you to everyone for hanging out in PSU today as well. Yep, see you later, guys. There we go.